Black women speak on the dominant culture, defeminizing or masculinizing us all the time. We discuss this idea regularly within our community. This is a response to the video I made on Jesse and Jordan and the man card. I just want to apologize for this oversight because I know this on an intellectual level. I say this isn't, I've read it and learned from other prominent Black women about this, and I still didn't think to include it in my video. And I make a lot of effort to be intersectional in my work, and I still fucked up. So thank you for saying this. I should have known this because I very recently saw an excellent video by a Black woman who, I cannot find her page right now. I searched for it, hasn't popped up yet. If this rings a bell for y'all, tag her, please. Where she talked about that a conflict in white supremacy, a hypocrisy, is the masculinization of Black women, while Black women have some of the most stereotypically feminine bodies, and embrace that. Because so much of white supremacy encourages white women to be skinny, frail, small. It's part of the gender role of being smaller than your man. And Black women usually don't embrace that toxic nonsense. And she specifically gave the example that the Coke bottle, the original Coca-Cola bottle, was modeled after and inspired by Black women's bodies. And so it's just this blatant, it just shows how much white supremacy is made up, not true, because of the blatant inconsistency. And that's just one of many, right? And she even gave I had no idea that people call Megan Thee Stallion manly. Are you kidding? That woman is the blueprint of an hourglass figure. I'm annoyed with myself because I've read Bell Hooks' Anti-Woman, where she talks about how it's really embarrassing that I overlooked this, because as someone who grew up with deeply embedded gender roles, like I was raised Catholic in the South, part of what blew open the whole gender roles are bullshit thing for me is that Black women are intentionally masculinized, and that has roots in slavery, because why would it make sense for Black women to be in the fields but white women are too delicate because of their disposition and their gender? It makes no sense. And I have read Bell Hooks' book Anti-Woman, where she talks about how it was a critical part of white patriarchy to masculinize Black women to justify enslavement, as well as an attempt to control Black men, to blame Black women for the problems that white people were doing to them, to say, see, he's not treating you like a real man, and that's why you're in this position. While who's the culprit? Oh yeah. So I'm curious if there are any more resources that you would recommend, because this poses many questions for me, because I still think of femininity as not having the same female card as men have a man card, but I think that's because the masculinity that is enforced in Western society, specifically in the US, is so narrow. There's just very little room to get out of it. This generates for me questions like, is the definition of womanhood for Black women as narrow in a similar way? Do you use terms like, he defeminized me? I've never heard anybody say that. But you probably wouldn't say it around me, right? You said it's within your own community. And I don't want to put the labor, especially on this person. I will continue reading and looking for this. Most of what I have found has been more from an academic level. That's where my understanding is kind of systemic and not the personal. And I would like to know more about that. I saw somebody else commented that it's a common trope in some romance literature for women to say, he made me feel like I wasn't a woman. They didn't say anything about racial differences there, but I can't really fathom that in my head, but it does remind me of I don't know what someone would do to make you feel like less of a woman. I'm not saying it's not real. I just am not aware of what that entails. It does remind me of the Anti-Woman, Sojourner Truth, where I think the example was, I'm a woman, but nobody offers me a hand to get out of the carriage. So that she said, as a Black woman, she doesn't get that experience, but white women do. Is that similar things that take the woman away from you? You as in the broader audience, not specifically this person. That wasn't her comment. Anyway, thanks. Oh yeah, tremendous oversight on my part.